All right, I know you've talked about this. Players not named Deshaun Watson who have the most to prove coming up.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of names that come to mind off the top of my head, especially on the offensive side of the ball. David Njoku stands out as a guy who got that big payday. You know, they pushed Hooper out the door to kind of make him tight end number one and gave him a $54 million paycheck that I think a lot of people around the league were looking and saying, is this guy really worth that type of money? Top 5 tight end in the NFL. So I think he certainly has a lot to prove. I'm hopeful that with a new quarterback and a system that Kevin Stefanski runs, that he will be a focal point of this offense. But he certainly has to prove that he is worth the money. I would also say on the offensive side of the ball, Jedrick Wills is maybe an under the radar one that people might not think of, just because he plays on the offensive line. Those guys kind of get forgotten. But after a solid rookie year, this past year, some questionable play from him. I think it's left some people wondering if he can be that starting, solid left tackle protecting the blind side of Deshaun Watson for years to come. So he's got to kind of have a bounce back season here and put it together on the field with that offensive line that's obviously returning. I think another name that stands out on the defensive side of the ball could be Greedy Williams, guy who is due up soon for a payday. He's kind of in that territory where, again, without the fifth-year option because he was a second-round pick, they got to make a decision on him soon. I think last year in certain spots, he played really, really well. Like there was a portion of the season last year when Denzel Ward was out and Greedy Williams and Greg Newsome were holding down the fort so well that I wondered if they should even pay Denzel and just keep those two guys as their top corners. Obviously, I'm glad they paid Denzel. I think he's worth the money. But with the injury history he's had, there were some questions there for me a little bit last year. So I think Greedy Williams has shown he can do it. Can he stay healthy for a full season? Can he prove that he's worth a payday? It might mean he's worth a payday elsewhere, but those are a couple guys that come to mind for me of guys that have something to prove.
Yeah, and to your point, Greedy Williams could play well enough that he prices himself right out of the Browns thing, and that would be great for him.